Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
We are continuing with our literature unit for the month of November. And today's featured novel is The Fault in Our Stars, or at least the featured novel of our program last time was also The Fault in Our Stars. And again, it's a book written for young people in their teens or something like that. So for ESL students, people learning English as a second language or as another language, as some people say, then this novel might be something that you could consider reading. And of course, it's also about young people, but it is about young people who are afflicted with cancer and the things they go through. Now, again, this book is about Hazel and Gus primarily, and they meet at a support group, and later they go to Holland or the Netherlands to meet the author of Hazel's favorite book, but he turns out to be a jerk. And then later Gus passes away, and then Hazel meets the author at the funeral, and supposedly that kind of makes things a little better, but still Hazel's sad that her boyfriend died, and that's kind of where the novel ended.
Okay, but today we're going to be talking about John Green. He's the author of The Fault in Our Stars. Some of the other things he's written, maybe some of his awards, and what he does in addition to being an author. This is especially fun for those of you out there that want to be writers. What a great career that turns out to be, but it's hard to get your foot in the door or get an opportunity at the very beginning, as we all know, from J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, but was turned down many times before someone finally accepted her manuscript, so don't give up. Right now, we're going to read through today's lesson. John Green is an American author and social media educator. His first novel, Looking for Alaska, won the American Library Association's Printz Award in 2006. Green's sixth novel, The Fault in Our Stars, debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. He wrote An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, and Turtles All the Way Down as a solo author, and co-authored Let It Snow, 3 holiday romances, and Will Grayson. Green was listed in Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2014. That year, the film based on The Fault in Our Stars opened at number 1 at the box office, and the film version of Paper Towns was released the following year. Green gets inspiration for his books from his own life experiences. After college, he worked as a student chaplain in a children's hospital with the intention of becoming an Episcopal priest. However, spending time with terminally ill children inspired him to become a writer, and that period of his life is reflected in The Fault in Our Stars. He also dedicated the novel to Esther Earle, his friend who died at 16 of thyroid cancer. In addition to his work as an author, Green has worked as a publishing assistant and editor. He has a strong social media presence and currently hosts several YouTube channels, such as Vlog Brothers with his brother Hank and the educational series Crash Course. Due to his success and rapid rise to fame, Green has had a lot of influence on the success of up-and-coming new authors by giving them positive reviews.
All right, it's time now to discuss the contents of today's lesson. Again, the title of our lesson is Life, Love, and Illness in The Fault in Our Stars. And that, of course, is the name of the novel. And it was also made into a movie, which was released way back in 2014. Now, the author of the original novel, The Fault in Our Stars, is John Green. John Green is an American author and social media educator. So, of course, we all know what social media is. That's various apps on our phones or websites on the internet where we can learn things. In this case, if you're going for a website or going to a website that has an educator there, that's a teacher, so you're going to learn things there. And John Green's first novel, Looking for Alaska, won the American Library Association's Prince Award in 2006. So that was his first novel, Looking for Alaska. Alaska is a state in the United States, and that's kind of weird. How could you look for Alaska? Maybe someone's name is Alaska in this book. I would say you probably go to Alaska. You don't really look for Alaska. You'd have to read the book and find out what that is all about. But that's pretty cool. He won a big award for that book in 2006.
He sure did. So his sixth novel is the one we're focusing on, The Fault in Our Stars. It debuted at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. If you're an author, you really want to do well on the New York Times bestseller list for sure. Those are the books that are selling the most according to the New York Times. They've got a list of fiction books, a list of nonfiction. This, of course, is fiction, which means it's a story that he made up. It's not based on reality. Although sometimes authors, of course, use people they know from their real lives. They change names and facts, but this is actually a work of fiction. If you debut, it means this person's first appearance or work of art or performance is made public. So this is his book that debuted at #1. The first time that it actually came out, was published, and started selling at stores, it already was snatched up by people. They bought a lot of copies. And that's why he was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. So congratulations. That's very hard to do.
Yep, people had read his books before.
Yeah.
And they were eagerly awaiting his new book.
They probably pre-ordered it, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as soon as it was released, they had a copy. And, of course, because of that, this book shot to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Okay, that's a list, of course, from the New York Times newspaper, which tells us which books are the most popular. Now, he wrote An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, and Turtles All the Way Down as a solo author, which means he wrote those books by himself. And he co-authored Let It Snow, 3 Holiday Romances, and Will Grayson. Okay, that's an interesting title.
Yeah.
But, saying Will Grayson 2 times there.
That's funny.
But if you co-author something, that means you write the book together with somebody else. Maybe one person writes one chapter, then the other person writes the other chapter. I'm not quite sure how that works. Maybe somebody holds the pen and the other person grabs the other person's arm and moves it or something.
No, Tom.
I don't know quite how that works. But, they wrote it together. They worked together to write this book. Are these books here. So he co-authored those, but then he had some that he wrote by himself, the titles of which I just mentioned.
It's interesting. You usually don't see works of fiction that are co-authored. Typically, it's nonfiction books or scientific papers that are co-authored. That's very interesting. He must be pretty good friends with his co-author. So Green was listed in Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people in the world back in 2014. That's when the movie version of The Fault in Our Stars was released as well. If you're influential, you're somebody who has a big impact. People who are influential in my life are my parents. And one of my college professors was sort of a mentor to me. So you have a lot of influence on somebody. Maybe you're somebody that gets inspiration from somebody else, and that person who is inspiring you would be considered someone who's influential in your life. So Time magazine, they publish once a year this list of 100 most influential people in the world. Oh, and you hope to be on the list. You want to be on the list so you feel successful. The list changes every year, but it's always interesting to see who Time considers to be influential. I don't always agree with their list, but, that's what lists are for, so you can talk about that list and, kind of debate whether you think someone's influential enough or not. So, again, he made that list in 2014, and that's when the film that we talked about in our previous program was released or made available to the public. It opened at #1 at the box office. So the weekend his film came out, it did very, very well. People wanted to see that movie more than other movies that had opened at the same time. There's also another film version, his book Paper Towns, and that came out in 2015. I didn't see that movie. Did you see that movie, Tom?
No, and I haven't heard of it either. But
neither have I.
I guess because The Fault in Our Stars was a pretty good movie, maybe I should try to find this one as well. Paper Towns.
I'm looking it up and seeing who is in it.
Okay, we'll find out in just a second here who was in it. But again, this is the film version of this book. Just like there is a film version of The Fault in Our Stars, starring Shailene Woodley or whatever her name is.
Shailene Woodley.
Okay, and some other people, I think.
Ansel Elgort.
Ansel
is the
Elgort.
board. Yeah.
He played Gus in that movie.
He's a cute boy.
And I think William Dafoe played the drunk writer
Gus
in The Fault in Our Stars as well. But yes, indeed, we've got the film version of Paper Towns, and that was released the following year, so he was quite successful having his novels made into movies. So you can bet he is a very successful author. Now, let's move on now to the next paragraph. In just a second, we need to take a break first and listen to our Chinese teacher. So let's do that first.
Hello everyone, 欢迎收听 English Digest， 我是哈利。今天我们要阅读的文章是 Unit 11文学单元的第2天课程。在今天的文章中，我们将会读到关于 The Fault in Our Stars 的作者 John Green 的生平及创作背景。作者 John Green 是位美国作者和社群媒体教育者。我们看到第一段的第3句Green's sixth novel, The Fault in Our Stars, debuted at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. 葛林第6本小说《生命中的美好缺憾》首次出版便登上纽约时报畅销书榜第1名。本句有个动词 debut， 有初次登场、初次演出的意思。例如 The rock band will debut at a small bar next Saturday. 这个摇滚乐团下星期六将会在一间小酒吧首次演出。Debut 也可以做名词用，有首次出场、首次露面的意思。Debut performance 就是指首次演出。Debut album 就是指首张专辑。而片语 make one's debut 就是指某人首次演出或出场。例如 famous comedian Charlie Chaplin made his film debut in 1913。知名喜剧演员查理·卓别林在1913年首次在电影里演出。我们接着看到第一段的倒数第2句。Green was listed in Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2014. 在西元2014年，葛林被列入《时代》杂志全球最具影响力100大人物榜单中。形容词 influential 是指有影响力的。Be influential in something 是指在某方面有影响力。例如 The board of directors is influential in shaping the company's policies. 董事会对于制定公司的政策有影响力。Influential 的名词和动词都是 influence. I-N-F-L-U-E-N-C-E. 如果我们要说 A 对 B 有影响，我们可以说 A influence B。此时动词 influence 相当于 affect, A-F-F-E-C-T 或 impact, I-M-P-A-C-T。 我们也可以说 A have an influence on B。 此时名词 influence 相当于 effect, E-F-F-E-C-T 或 impact, I-M-P-A-C-T。 例如 The internet has impacted, influenced,affected our lives a great deal. 网络对我们的生活影响很大。Acid rain had a great impact, effect, influence on agriculture. 酸雨对农业曾有很大的影响。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We shall now continue with today's lesson. Again, we're focusing specifically today on the author of our featured novel, The Fault in Our Stars, John Green. Remember, he's an American author, and he's authored several books, and he's co-authored a couple of more with other authors. And he was on the list of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2014. And another of his novels was made into a movie as well, Paper Towns. Now, Green gets inspiration for his books from his own life experiences. This is reasonable. If you're a writer, of course, you need to get your ideas from somewhere. So he gets his inspiration from his own life experiences, things that have happened to him personally, or perhaps stories he's heard from friends or other people he's met. So he gets inspiration, or you could say he gets ideas for his books from things that happened to him. And after college or after university, he worked as a student chaplain in a children's hospital with the intention of becoming an Episcopal priest. A chaplain is a religious person. It's kind of a pastor or a preacher or something like that, a member of the clergy who works for a private organization. When I see the word chaplain, of course, I usually think of someone in the military, a soldier who's working alongside other soldiers in case they need some religious guidance. They need to talk to someone about, what God would do in this situation or something like that. Or they also perform last rites for soldiers who have been killed, stuff like that. But this is in a children's hospital to provide religious guidance to children who are sick. And he did that with the intention later of becoming a priest, an Episcopal priest. And your intention is what you want to do. So yes, I'm going to be a chaplain for a while, and then eventually I'm going to use this experience so that I can become an Episcopal priest. Priests are usually in the Catholic Church, but I guess the Episcopalian Church also has priests. My understanding is the Episcopal Church in America is the same thing as the Church of England in England.
Yeah, there are different branches of Christianity, different groups that believe different things. We also refer to these Christian branches as sects. S-E-C-T, a Christian sect. They're the Baptists, the Methodists, the Catholics, the Mormons, the Episcopalians, the Lutherans, the born-agains. We've got lots of different Christian sects. He worked in the hospital, probably giving comfort to the kids, maybe praying with them or praying for them. So he spent a lot of time with terminally ill children, and this inspired him to become a writer. I bet he had a lot of inspiration from these pretty brave kids who oftentimes spend months and sometimes years in the hospital trying to fight cancer. If you're terminally ill, it means there's no hope for you to recover. You're definitely going to die. Whatever disease you have is leading to death. It's very sad if you have to work with terminally ill children, especially because they're so young. It's especially sad, I think. Well, it inspired him to become a writer after having worked with these kids as a chaplain. And that period of his life is reflected in the book, The Fault in Our Stars. And here we find out who that book is actually based on or what gave him inspiration for the character of Hazel. And that is a girl named Esther Earle. She was also 16, and she had the exact same cancer, thyroid cancer, of his fictional person in the novel, Hazel. So he dedicated the novel to Esther Earle, and she was a friend of his, but she did pass away from thyroid cancer. Typically, when you write a book, or even if you record a CD, you'll often take the time in the front of that work to dedicate your performance or your recording or your writing to someone who is really influential to you, someone you want to thank and you're grateful for their help. And in this book, he actually dedicated it to that young 16-year-old he met in the hospital who later passed away.
And, of course, if you're writing fiction, though, you still need to know some facts.
Yeah.
If you're writing fiction about someone with cancer, you need to get your information correct. Like, yes, if you had thyroid cancer, would that cause breathing difficulty? He probably learned that directly from Esther.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And, would you need to, use some kind of machine to help you breathe? So, yes, he had to get his information correct, and knowing this person probably helped him get the correct information for the book. And he dedicated it to her again. He was grateful to her, and I'm sure he misses her very much. Now, in addition to his work as an author, Green has worked as a publishing assistant and editor. So, yes, he's got this job as an author, but of course, if you're an author, you don't have to be writing every day. You can do other stuff. So, he works as a publishing assistant, which means he helps other people get published, or he works at the publisher itself and does work there. And he's also an editor, which means he reads other people's manuscripts or the things they've written to make sure they're written correctly. He catches all the errors or perhaps suggests some changes. Yeah, this doesn't quite work here. You don't have a convincing argument here. Maybe you need to rephrase this or something like that. That's what an editor does.
Right. So he has a strong social media presence. So he's on social media a lot. That's what that means. And he currently hosts several YouTube channels. We're going to talk about what those are. If you host, just means you're the person who entertains other people. You're in charge of the program. We have a lot of TV hosts who get on some of these talk shows or game shows, especially here in Taiwan. We have some very famous hosts. It's very popular these days to have your own YouTube channel. I actually did a recording for two young Taiwanese kids, their brother and sister, who have their own YouTube channel, and they teach you English using Mandarin to teach you. They're kind of fun. So a channel is just, the different side. YouTube channels isn't actually a channel that we refer to when we talk about TV channels, right? Or TV stations. But nowadays, people who want to just get together with the public and want to promote their business, they often just start a YouTube channel and talk to people through videos that they record or even live streaming, which they can do. So he's got several YouTube channels like Vlog Brothers, a video log, instead of a blog, which is a website that you write on. A vlog is a video that you record, and he does this with his brother Hank. I'd like to look at that. And also, he has an educational series called Crash Course. Crash Course in anything means a very quick learning period that's kind of intense to give you the facts about something that you're doing. Maybe you just started a new job and you need a crash course in finance to get you up to speed on everything you need for your job. If it's educational, of course, it's teaching people something. So that would be a fun thing to check out. Crash Course on YouTube.
And due to his success and rapid rise to fame, Green has had a lot of influence on the success of up-and-coming new authors by giving them positive reviews. So he's had a lot of success, and because of his rapid or quick rise to fame, rapid just means fast, quick, because he became famous so quickly, Green has influenced a lot of other new authors. They're up and coming, which means they are progressing. They're not so famous right now, but they're going to be famous soon, and he gives them positive reviews. He gives them encouragement. And yes, he doesn't want to have this market all to himself. He's encouraging other people to write new material as well. And all of us will probably have lots of stuff to read in the future thanks to him. Okay, that's all for today. And we're now going to hear from our Chinese teacher.
文章的第二段提到 Green 的创作灵感是来自他的生活经验。我们看到这一段的第二句 After college, he worked as a student chaplain in a children's hospital with the intention of becoming an Episcopal priest. 大学毕业后，他打算未来成为一位圣公会牧师，因而在一间儿童医院以学生牧师的身份工作。名词 intention 有意图、目的的意思。Have no intention of doing something 就是指没有做某事的意图。例如I had no intention of insulting you by saying your performance was planned. I just wanted you to do better next time. 我说你的演出很平淡，但我无意要羞辱你， 我只是希望你下次能表演得更好。Intention 的形容词为 intentional， intentional， 意思是故意的。副词是 intentionally， intentional 加 ly 故意地，相当于 deliberately， deliberately， 或 on purpose， purpose。 例如 Don't be so harsh on Kevin. He didn't break the vase intentionally. 不要对凯文这么严厉，他不是故意打破花瓶的。我们接着看到文章最后一段的第一句。In addition to his work as an author, Green has worked as a publishing assistant and editor. 除了身为一名作者所撰写的作品外，葛林还曾以出版助理和编辑的身份工作。片语 in addition to 是除了什么之外的意思，其后接名词或 VING。Except 也有除了什么之外的意思，但两者有所不同。我们举两个例子。In addition to volleyball, Peter plays basketball well. 除了打排球之外，彼得篮球也打得很好。In addition to 有包含其后所接的事物，相当于 besides, besides， 所以这句表示彼得会打排球和篮球。Except volleyball, Peter likes all kinds of sports. 除了排球之外，彼得喜欢各种运动。Except 不包含其后所接的事物，所以这句表示彼得不喜欢排球，其他各种运动他都喜欢。另外，片语 aside from, aside 和 apart from, apart 也有除了什么以外的意思，而且包括或不包括其后的事物都可以，所以要从文意上去判断。Aside from this old broken chair, I like all of the furniture in this apartment. 除了这张老旧坏掉的椅子外，我喜欢这间公寓的所有家具。从文意判断可知此句的 aside from 不包括 this old broken chair。以上就是今天的课程，谢谢大家收听。
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, but please join us again next time when we continue to talk about our featured novel for this month, The Fault in Our Stars. We look forward to seeing you then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye.